Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great freaking day. Today is Sunday, February 9th at 7 p.m. so pretty late right now, and we're heading into Encore, starting a session. We're gonna see how this goes. 7 p.m. means we might be here for a late night. I don't know. We're gonna play 5 hours and it'll be midnight already, and it's a Sunday night. We're gonna see what the action's like, but wanted to play. Didn't play yesterday, I guess. Real time didn't play yesterday because 2 days ago was the stupid session where I just got absolutely crushed. But hopefully we can do some better things moving forward today, so we'll keep you guys updated, of course, see what's up. And I'm just walking around through random cars, so we're gonna see what an action's gonna look like for a random Sunday night. But regardless, we'll get back in with hands and I'll get you guys updated. Before we get into this video, I'm actually going to be announcing that I'm launching a brand new channel called Flopping Quads. It is a poker compilation video, and it's just an experiment that I'm trying to run. Basically going to be highlighting the most interesting spots and hands that have been played on televised poker, high stakes poker, or live streams in general. So if you want to be watching some more poker content, I will be making those videos on that channel called Flopping Quads, a preview down in the corner below. I'm personally going all out in this content creation thing on YouTube, and I really believe in the YouTube platform, so definitely just an experiment. I've got a few videos posted already, so definitely please go check it out. Would really appreciate it, and let me know what you guys think in those comment sections. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Go check that out after this video ends. I'd really appreciate it, and let's get into the hands. The first interesting spot we get involved in, we have ace 10 of diamonds in the small blind with an under the gun straddle. Here sitting with about $280 in our stack, losing the first hand that we played in, so now this is the second one that we're playing in. We have a cutoff who opens up the action to $21, action onto the button who 3-bets to $57, and he's a pretty big stack. From the action that I've seen so far at this table, the cutoff player, very competent and good player. The button is a little bit on the tighter side, but also pretty good, so he's not really 3-betting too light here. I don't perceive him as someone that would be 3-betting light, especially when he's 3-betting such a small amount. So here, sitting with a pretty decent and good hand out of position. I don't love ace 10, but it's suited, so we can definitely play it, and brings a lot more playability to it for sure. Cold calling this in the small blind just doesn't seem great, but 4-betting also doesn't seem like an amazing plan, just given the fact that I think this button has a pretty narrow 3-betting range. But at the end of the day, I think about it and looking at my stack, like, we're going to go for it. I'm going to go for the 4-bet. I just don't like calling out of position here with this kind of hand. I feel like if I just call the 57, I'm going to have to play my hand so face up, and I'd rather just take control of this pot right now and give myself an opportunity to bluff at this if I need to as well. So at the end of the day, we're going to 4-bet to a small sizing of $130, leaving myself about $150 behind. I think this 130 is a decent sizing. It's just weird because we're playing so short. Also on a straddle pot, so really only playing 50 big blinds effective. So we'll fold all the way back to the cutoff who folds. The button thinks about it for a while. He's got like $700 in front of him, so what I have is pretty insignificant. He thinks about it and ends up only making the call, and very thankful that he didn't jam into me. I think I just have to call it off with this very marginal hand if he did 5-bet jam. So we're going to a flop, which comes king 7-3 rainbow. One diamond out there, and we have a decision to make. Like I said, I got to 4-bet here, so I think I can definitely comfortably jam a lot of the time. Repping ace king, because I have that for sure. If he has ace king, so be it. If he has pocket king, so be it. But really putting him on more hands like queens, jacks, and maybe even 10s as well, that would kind of have to fold a lot of the time if I do jam on this board. So I go ahead and shove $150. It's pretty small, but hoping that he can fold a hand like queens or jacks with this king out there, because I definitely have all of the ace kings in the world when I 4-bet out of position. He tanks for a long time and ends up making the fold, thank goodness. And we're on a pretty fun table right now. I actually described the table dynamics. We have to show, the winner of each hand has to show at least one card if it doesn't go to showdown. So we look at our hand and we decide to show the 10 of diamonds. The button is not happy about it. Later on, he told us that he had pocket jacks, so we did put him in a pretty terrible spot, and I think he definitely made the right fold long term, and that's kind of what we were looking for. Hand after that, we looked down at pocket deuces under the gun. Let's go ahead and just open limp. No need to raise it up here yet. Player to my left raises things up to $12. He is a big stack and a good action player. He's VIP at this table for sure. Middle position player makes the call, actions onto the button who 3-bets to $45, And now action's onto me. Facing a 3-bet, I really don't love this, but I think that sometimes this button player can be 3-betting light to isolate from this action player who did open pre-flop. At the end of the day, I ended up just making the calls. We're sitting about 400 deep and both players cover me, and I know that if I call this 45, the pre-flop raiser, the action player, is going to be calling as well. So let's try to play for stacks here. Let's try to set mine and see what happens. I put in $45. The pre-flop raiser player to my left does in fact make the call, thank goodness, and we're off to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes ace, 7, deuce, rainbow, so we do hit our bottom set. What a miraculous board for us. It's been a while for us to hit a set with these small pocket pairs, and we finally get there in a 3-bet pot. So action checks all the way around to the button, who throws out a bet of $75. Here, no need to scare off action, just going to be flatting here 10 out of 10 times on a rainbow board. I really want the player to my left who's good for action to get in there as well and make the call. So I call, and unfortunately the action player folds, so heads up to a turn. The turn comes the jack of hearts, bringing in a backdoor flush draw, and here I'm checking, planning on check jamming 100% of the time. He goes ahead and counts out $200 in green chips, and he thinks about it and ends up checking back. That is just unfortunate. So we're going to a river. Let's try to brick out and get some value. The river is the 9 of spades, so it doesn't really change a whole lot. Bottom set should be good here a lot of the time. Here, trying to go for max value, I go ahead and throw out a bet of $250. He snap calls this bet, and we show our hand, and it's good against ace deuce. Flops 2 pair versus bottom set, so that's pretty much a cooler there. But shout out to my boy Hunter. He actually watches the channel, and he was part of this hand, so huge shout out to you. Unfortunate that you were on the losing end of this one. Intermission to the video to go over the sponsor of today's video, which is Poker Bros. Join the club that I'm playing in if you want to play some online poker for real money. Everything is legit, and I'll be shouting out all the people in my club that have recently won tournaments. This is very much overdue because some people have won some crazy ones, but this is the bi-weekly announcement of these tournament winners. So huge shout out to everyone that's been playing in the club. Huge shout out to these people as well. So if you want to get in on the action, join the club ID here. The app is called Poker Bros, and you can feel free to shoot me an email if you want more information on how to play. First off, Molly Bloom Dennis, shout out to you for binking the $5 tournament for $873. Up next is Raise the Nuts Jay. Huge shout out to you for a $503 bink. Following that is another $5 tournament bank of $591. Another $5 tournament winner is Flop Turn River for $663 for first place. Pete K, shout out to you, man, for $875 for this first place winner. Call Help, shout out to you, Logan, for winning a PLO 5 tournament, which is pretty crazy, for $1,500 for first place. Marcelo winning another $5 tournament for $571. Joe Poker with a $624 bink, huge shout out to you. Flop Turn River once again banking another one for $818, another $5 tournament turning into $800. Last but not least, Joey Donk for placing second in another $5 tournament for $600. All of these players were cashed out pretty quickly. It's pretty easy withdrawal process, pretty easy deposit process. So if you want to get on the action, get in on the tournaments and the cash games. We have a ton of action going on both sides. Download the app called Poker Bros. Join this club ID for more information. You can hit me up on email or Telegram. It's pretty easy there. All my information is on the app once you join. Congrats to all the winners. And for future tournament winners, please send me a screenshot so you can be shouted out in the next video. The next hand that we will go over is pretty interesting, I'd say. We have Jack 8 offsuit under the gun. We're straddling now because there's a mandatory straddle. We're playing a 1-3-6 game. It's going to be a fun time. So we look down at Jack 8 offsuit under the gun, and it's a 4-way pot. 3 players limp to me, and I'm going to check my option for sure. So we're off to a flop, which comes Queen, King, 10, all diamonds out there. We flop the open-ended straight flush draw, which is pretty damn interesting if I do say so myself. So here out of position, I'm actually going to lead out for a small amount of $6 whole into $24. We want to see some cards. We have a ridiculous, stupid hand that has a monster draw, so let's see what happens. So I lead out for 6, and we get one caller on the button, Edward, who also watches the channel, so shout out to you. We're going heads up to a turn, which comes the deuce of clubs, a complete brick, and here just going to be betting again. I bet $15, and once again, he decides to make the call. The river is the 7 of clubs, so sitting here with Jack 8 high, I don't love it. We're not really going to be generating a lot of folds if I do triple barrel, so here I'm just going to check, and he checks it back with Jack 5 of clubs. So our Jack 8 high wins. I wanted to throw this in there because we had a monster draw on the flop, but I've never won a hand with Jack 8 high before, so here we are. The next spot that we'll go over also involves a pretty marginal hand here. I am back on the under the gun with the straddle on with Jack Deuce of clubs. Action folds all the way to the big blind, and there's no chopping in here since we are straddling. So he goes ahead and limps and calls the $6. I raise to a whopping sizing of $12 because we're friendly, and he makes the call, so we're off to a flop. The flop is actually amazing for us. It's King Jack 6, 2 clubs out there, so middle pair and a flush draw. He checks to me, and I throw a bet of $15, and he doesn't think too long before making the call. So we're off to a turn. Turn comes the 7 of clubs, so the club draw gets there, and once again, he checks to us. Going to be sizing up with our flush. Let's go ahead and throw out a bet of $40. Once again, he makes the call. So here, let's try to get 3 streets of value on the river here. The river is a great card. It's the king of spades, so likely top pairs improve to trips. We can get a whole lot of value from a king that he most likely has. So here, when he checks to us, once again, I'm going to throw out a bet of $80. Probably could be sizing up a lot bigger here, but here just went for a sizing of 80. I could probably be facing a raise as well, and we can easily snap that off. So I bet 80 and expecting call a lot of the time. He just folds and shows the 6 of hearts. This hand was against Little Pumpkin that I alluded to on the channel earlier, so shout out to you. That's just what I'm calling you moving forward. The last hand we're going to go over, not a whole lot of premium holdings here that we're going to go over today. This one definitely does not fall into that category, so we're in the small blind with an under the gun straddle out there. We have Deuce 4 of hearts. Yes, that one. On the gun player, or on the gun +1 player actually here, he opens up the action to $12. This is the action player that we are trying to target. And, well, we're playing 7-handed, and we got 3 callers. I'm not really folding here, facing an effective 2 big blind raise. So here, let's just go ahead and go to a flop 4 ways in the small blind. The flop comes 10, 5, 3, 2 hearts out there. So basically a dream flop for us for this specific hand. Flopping another monster combo draw. Action checks all the way to the cutoff, who bails us out by throwing out a bet. He bets $25 and actions onto me. Really easy spot here. I'm going to be check raising 10 out of 10 times with this hand, especially since we're playing so deep. I have over $1,000 on my stack, and he has at least $700 to $800. So I'm definitely going to be going for it here. So I check raise to $75. Sometimes could be sizing up bigger because I'm out of position. I think there's a whole lot of merit for that. I'm out of position with no showdown value, and I have a monster draw. That's really it, but I chose for 3x, the normal sizing, and only the cutoff makes the call, so we are off to a turn. Turn comes the beautiful ace of spades, so sitting here with the nuts, and we're playing about $700-800 effective right now. I think a lot of 10x's are just going to have to fold here, unless specifically ace 10, unless a set, or unless an ace x of hearts that would have turned top pair with the nut flush draw. I go with an overbet of $225 here. I'm not really going to get a whole lot of value from 10x's, like I said, 1 pair hand, so we're trying to target some pretty strong hands in his range that would call a check raise. He thinks about it and folds pretty quickly. He showed a 10, so it wasn't like I was going to get a whole lot of value anyways, but our 4 deuce of hearts is good. Quick little in and out session here today at Encore, about 3 hours, played less than 3 hours actually of 1-3, and I guess we kind of hit our cards. We ran pretty well, and we ended because, well, honestly, I just didn't feel like playing anymore. The action player left the table, which left us playing a little short-handed against some pretty just 1-3 regs, and wasn't trying to really play in that. So I did that for a little bit and just wasn't feeling it. Had some new players come in, but none of them were really splashy or good for the game. So at the end of the day, just wasn't feeling it. It's Sunday night. Let's go home. I'm pretty tired anyways. So really quick session. Nothing to complain about, honestly. The premium hands that I did get, I did not go over because I just won them pre-flop. So nothing really interesting happened with the premium hands that I got. I 3-bet with pocket kings. I think I 3-bet with pocket kings or 4-bet with pocket kings, and I took it down pre-flop, and then I had ace king of diamonds, ace king suited in the big blind, and on a straddled pot, I think it was, the button opened, small blind 3-bets, and action onto me, not thinking the small blind was ever going to be 3-betting light, and sitting with a premium hand, and we're playing really deep. Like, he also was about 1K deep as well. I ended up four betting to I ended up four betting to about $200 even over a $75 three bet, and it folded back to him and he ended up folding, so that was fine. That would have been really interesting. I guess that's the one interesting hand that I didn't go over because, I mean, the action was only pre-flop, so that was a weird spot to be in. Ace King of Diamonds, very premium hand in the big blind, facing a small blind three bet against a good player, so who knows. So I think I made the right play for betting, but it would have been really interesting because we would have gone crazy on a decent flop because we're sitting 1K deep and we were going to go into the flop. We were going to a $400 pot if he called. But anyways, besides that, to wrap up the video, we played for less than 3 hours, in the game for only $300, guys. $300, out of the game for $12.03, so good profit of $903. We got to bounce back from last video and last session in just a few quick hours, so some positive variance coming back our way, and good night overall. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, check out my secondary channel, all that fun stuff, my Instagram, everything like that, Facebook group, all that cool things, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.